What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. A new government shutdown is imminent, and I'll let you know what needs to happen here to even possibly prevent this, how long this new government shutdown can go for, and the new demands being made in Congress for Republicans and Democrats to actually pass a government shutdown. I'm going to give you all the details, or pass a government funding bill, which will prevent a government shutdown. So let me give you all the details right now as we are live here on the It's Jimmy Show. On YouTube, let me know if you can see and hear me. Type yes in the chat. Let me know where you're tuning in from. You can let me know your city, state, or even your country, as we have people tuning in here from all around the globe. Don't forget to hit that like button for me. And if you haven't yet, subscribe down below so you don't miss out on future videos. Yeah, so the government is set to have a government shutdown here by Friday evening if they don't come to an agreement in Congress. And Republicans and Democrats are really battling with each other on this one. And there's a couple different issues, and this is going to affect a lot of people here in America, not only for the millions of people that will temporarily lose their jobs during a government shutdown, but for a lot of reasons. Take a look here.
We do have some news just coming in this morning. I'm told by sources that talks between the White House and Senate Democrats are intensifying this morning in order to avoid a partial government shutdown tomorrow. There is no firm deal just yet. We know that Senate Democrats have been trying to take a stand around DHS funding following the shooting and killing of Renee Good and Alex Preddy down in Minneapolis. So as of now, I'm told that these talks center around separating money from DHS from a larger package to keep the government funded. This would allow the military and critical programs for the CDC, for educational programs like Head Start to be funded through September. It would also temporarily extend funding for DHS, giving Democrats in the White House more time to discuss any possible policy changes. We want to be clear, this is not a firm deal. Both sides do need to agree. The White House is not commenting this morning, but it does come after Senate Democrats laid out their list of demands, including ending roving patrols, ensuring federal agents are held to the same use of force policies that apply to state and local law enforcement, preventing agents from wearing masks, and requiring body cameras. Republicans do need the support of at least 7 Senate Democrats in order to avoid this partial government shutdown. The impacts could still be dire here. We could have TSA agents, military troops go unpaid. As of now, though, this is a sign of progress.
Now, this comes after a major vote here just failed. Funding bill fails to clear Senate procedural vote before shutdown deadline. The Senate today failed to clear a procedural vote on crucial government funding, with a shutdown set to begin Friday night at midnight, or Saturday at 12:01 a.m., 1 minute apart right there. The procedural vote on the 6-bill package was widely expected to fail as Democrats demand that the Republican majority strips funding from the Department of Homeland Services from the package. And we're learning some of the demands to possibly get a deal done here. Take a listen.
We now have a list of demands from Senate Democrats for the reforms they want to see to immigration and customs enforcement, but they appear to be at a stalemate with Senate Republicans who don't want to make any changes to the spending plan. Across the country, vigils are taking place to honor Alex Preddy, the man shot and killed by federal immigration agents in Minneapolis over the weekend.
If there are some changes made, Alex's death will not be in vain.
In Washington, Senate Democrats are threatening to block funding for the Department of Homeland Security without reforming ICE.
Masks off, body cameras on, be able to identify who's an agent, who isn't, and what agency are they from, and have some predictable method for accountability.
Without those changes, Democrats say they won't provide the votes needed, suggesting the Homeland Security funding is separated from the larger package so the rest can be passed.
Senate Democrats are ready to join Republicans in passing them and funding 96% of the federal government.
But Republicans are not budging.
A government shutdown is not in anybody's interest.
Pointing out that during a shutdown, ICE has the funds to keep operating, but other key agencies like FEMA and TSA would feel the impacts.
The Democrats will be causing chaos all across America.
Senate Democrats are now negotiating with the White House, trying to come to a compromise. But if any changes are made to the package that already passed through the House, it would have to pass the Senate and then go back to the House for approval. And the House is not in session until Monday.
Now, one of those big demands is as you heard from the senator there, for ICE agents not to wear masks and have body cams, something that police have had for years, body cams, which actually, shows what they're doing, if what they're doing is right or not. And, it makes them accountable for what they do. Imagine if you were pulled over by a police officer who was masked up, didn't wear a badge, didn't show his name, you couldn't ask who he was, there was no repercussion, and they didn't have a body cam. Well, that's what's happening with ICE right now. So most people would not accept that from a police officer, to be pulled over by a police officer masked up without identifying himself and without a body cam. These are, reassurances that the public has had for years, knowing that they're being recorded. They can know who the officer is, know he's actually a legitimate officer. And if something does happen, well, everything's being recorded and you can file a complaint or lawsuit or anything like that because, well, you know who it was. When a masked guy comes up to you with a gun and doesn't identify himself and no body cam, that's pretty scary. That's pretty scary. And I get that ICE is trying to do a job. In fact, I'm actually for the theory of what they're trying to do, just not how they're doing it. And I think that's what most people's problem is the whole way it's being gone about, The other major problem is the government funding for healthcare subsidies or a replacement for it. Well, talks on that have stalled too, and we're actually not even getting a lot of updates on that because DHS and ICE has taken primary stage. However, you can see here federal funding package with healthcare extenders stall in the Senate amid calls for the DHS overhaul. This was a demand from Democrats and even some Republicans that there needs to be something passed to make healthcare more affordable. And with the healthcare subsidies that the government would pay to healthcare companies to help lower premiums for Americans did not pass, and going into 2026, that's now dramatically raising healthcare costs and premiums for tens of millions of Americans, and is only set to get worse the longer that goes. So they need to either pass healthcare subsidies, or Republicans have to pass a whole new healthcare plan. President Donald Trump has put forth an idea of $1,500 checks to Americans going into an HSA account to help pay for healthcare. Or Americans just get stuck with a larger bill, and literally we've seen the majority of respondents say healthcare is going to be so expensive they won't be able to pay for it because it's literally doubled or tripled in a lot of cases. And we all know healthcare is already seriously expensive with deductibles that are thousands of dollars in addition to the premiums. So between those two issues, we could see a government shutdown possibly for a long time. Remember here that the last government shutdown, which went from October 1st to November 12th, was the longest government shutdown in U.S. history and lasted 43 days and only came to an end because of a temporary 90-day extension, which is now set to expire. And the previous government shutdown was 35 days underneath President Donald Trump's first term, as they're taking a hardball approach and not necessarily a compromise approach. You guys can let me know your thoughts on this, if it's good or bad, but it looks like we have yet another government shutdown here that could go for a long time. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Now, I think this is important to bring up. Every year, too many seniors learn that their existing Medicare Advantage plan doesn't cover their doctors. It's just so easy to choose the wrong plan, and Medicare mistakes can cost you thousands. Yes, thousands. But my trusted partner Chapter makes Medicare simple. When you need to choose a Medicare plan, you should call these guys. Many of you already have and have saved a lot of money. I like these guys because they're independent. They're the only national advisor that compares and recommends every Medicare plan. And they've helped a lot of people save over $1,100 on their healthcare cost. People are pretty relieved when they talk to Chapter. They won't push you to get a plan that you don't need. They're really there just to help. If you're on Medicare or will be soon, contact Chapter with the phone number here on the screen or the link down below in the pinned comment. They'll help you understand the different plans, different enrollment options, and find you ways to save money on your healthcare. So share this video and subscribe down below so you don't miss out on future videos. I will keep you up to date. Click here to see the Fed's major announcement they just made yesterday, which is going to affect hundreds of millions of Americans. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.